5 fitness influencers we have found to be extremely toxic, and we are going to be talking about all of them, but we have to speak about the worst one, Greg Doucette.
What's happening, guys? It's Beachbody again. First and foremost, guys, I apologise for my absence. I have just moved into the new house that I bought and it's been manic. To say it's been crazy is an understatement. So as soon as I'm back sorted again, I will be making videos on the regular. So the first video I've made in God knows how long, a couple of weeks time now, and I wanted to talk about Greg Doucette being labelled as the #1 most toxic influencer. Why? I don't know. I've been really ill the last couple of days. Honestly, it's just completely put me on my ass. But one thing that makes me feel worse than being ill is stupidity. Greg Doucette is a Canadian IFBB pro bodybuilder. He's a master's in kinesiology and he has a fuck ton of YouTube and Instagram followers. And for good reason too. Around the time of the first lockdown, I was watching a lot of Greg Doucette videos and I'd only just discovered him back in 2020, and he completely overhauled my training beliefs. Completely overhauled the way I think about training, the way I think about dieting, I think about just about everything to do with bettering myself in terms of fitness and health, to be completely honest. To have someone like Greg Doucette labelled as toxic, it just doesn't make any sense. We live in a culture now where fitness is deemed as unhealthy. People have body dysmorphia, steroids have become so common it's a joke. And now all of a sudden, people like Greg Doucette are toxic just because they decide to call people out and give people a bad reputation. The people that get a bad reputation for being called out were called out because they're doing some slimy shit. To be specific, the video that labelled Greg Doucette as the #1 most toxic influencer, the main reason that was apparent to me that it was labelled as such was because of his natty or not famous videos. All those videos do is give young people, or not even young people, but people new to the fitness industry who might be a little bit naive, a better understanding and a bit of an education on the real world of fitness and health and bodybuilding and anything to do with how you actually look in the real world. It gives people hope that they don't have to take loads of steroids and starve themselves and isolate themselves from society and be miserable all their lives. And it shows people that sometimes your favourite influencer is just lying, not necessarily with malicious intent. They're not always trying to get people to take steroids and ruin their lives and ruin their health just for money. Some of them might be doing that, I don't know. But a lot of the time they're just trying to make a name for themselves, and young people just think, well, they don't know any better. To see someone like Greg Doucette, who had such an impact on me when I was first starting out with training and nutrition and just learning myself, and someone who has an impact on other people my age, younger people, older people, who is a force for good in the fitness industry, to see someone try and put dirt on his name, yeah, it doesn't really affect my life, but I just question why. Sure, Greg isn't right all the time, and his opinions can be a bit controversial, and you might not agree with them. That doesn't make him toxic. That just means he's wrong, or you don't agree with him. He's human. Why is Greg Doucette being labelled as he is? My opinion is that Greg is such a big name in the fitness industry that a lot of people are just deciding to make clickbait videos or just use his name in the video in general, and they're just trying to get some money by getting a load of views because people recognise his name. And I think that's a really dirty move in my opinion. Like, that's just not it. Because if you're making videos about the fitness industry, like, surely your core beliefs are rooted in the positivity of the fitness industry. You want to help other people. You're all about people achieving the goals. You're all about positivity. So why are you being so negative about someone who's a force for good? I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. I mean, for crying out loud, the list even shows Greg as being more toxic than Liver King. Liver King, who amassed millions of followers, made so much money selling supplements and getting views on his videos because he was natty and convinced a whole load of people to risk their health by eating raw meat, admitted he was taking steroids and lying. It weren't even that. He only admitted he was lying because he was publicly caught out and there was no escape from it. I don't understand how you can label someone like Greg Doucette, who's honest and open. Yeah, he's made mistakes in the past, but who's not? And you can label them in the same book as somebody who is most likely knowingly affecting the mindset of younger, more impressionable people who might be led down a bad path, who might think that they can never achieve the goals, who might end up with severe body dysmorphia because they don't think they ever look good enough because the so-called natty influencers that they idolise look so much better than they do. Why? Oh, my genetics are so bad, I'm worthless, I don't train hard, I don't look great, I'll never be as good as them. No, they just take a fuck ton of steads and you don't. That message isn't preached enough. If you actually sit down and listen to what Greg Doucette says, it's actually so If you actually listen to what Greg Doucette says, I mean, sure, I don't follow all these principles because I've learned so many different lessons and I have so many different philosophies and principles for training that I follow a lot of other people, not necessarily influencers, but people from the old days like Mike Mentzer, Dorian Yates. I follow a lot of those guys. But that's because I focus myself around bodybuilding and competing, and I'm just starting out myself, so I like to learn as well. But some people, young or old, they just want to be in shape, they just want to be healthy. The last thing they need is for some wannabe influencer to get to the top of the game because they're lying about the way they got how they got and giving people false hope and really unnaturally high standards. It's just not the way forward. I didn't realise when I was 18 that I had potential, that I could grow without the use of drugs, that I could look as good as all natural people can. But I was too focused on chasing the influencers who you thought were natural, who lied. The people in your gym who gave you false hope and fed you lies. I ended up going down that dark path. So I understand the impact that toxic influencers, actual toxic influencers, have. Not to name any names, but we all know who they are, and we've all seen them. Greg hasn't damaged anyone who didn't need to be damaged and taken down a peg. If you're lying to your viewers and you're getting subscribers by creating false hope and misleading people, you don't deserve the subscribers and you don't deserve to make a career out of it because your morals are in the wrong place. I mean, for fuck's sake, the guy even tells you how much hormone replacement he uses. Ronnie Coleman, bless the guy, he's amazing. I've met him, I think he's fantastic. He's a huge idol of mine. But even he, knowingly or not, convinced people that his body fat was in the minus numbers at one point. No, it wasn't. And now people are going to strive to achieve that. Greg is honest, he's open, he's as accurate as he can be, and to be honest, I don't think we can ask for much more than that, especially not with the state of the fitness industry right now and how many people are fake natties, false hope influencers, and just downright con men and women. So guys, I'm going to leave you with the message of, don't get mugged off, don't listen to fake natties, don't get misled by toxic influencers, and train really hard. I'll see you in my next video.